Now that you've successfully logged into your dashboard and you've had a look at your training area, you're now ready to start going on to the rest of the training. The first section of training would be to do with your posts. If you have blogs on your website, this is where you will find them. So if you click on posts and you see your blog posts there, that's where you'll find your blog posts. To add a new blog post, you would simply click on Add New. Once you've clicked on Add New, you'll come through to your normal blog post screen that looks a little like this. So here you would give it your subject, so your subject of your blog post. And right here is where you would enter all of your content. So you could copy and paste from wherever you've written it, or you could type it in here. You could also add media. So if you had the first paragraph and then you wanted to add a little image, you would click on Add Media, and this will bring you through to your media library. So if you click on Media Library, it will show you all the images that you already have loaded on your site, and you can choose one of those. So this is a client site, for example, that we added to the portfolio. So if we wanted to talk about that, you could place the image there, and you have all your usual editing on your post right here. Do note that if you only see one line of icons like this, the last little button on the edge is something to toggle your toolbar on, which gives you a few more options. So things like setting headings, so you can make something a heading, or underlining, or changing the color of the text. All those kind of extra options will appear when you toggle that toolbar button. Normally we will have set up categories for you with your blog, or you will have set up categories for yourself. So you would select whatever category you want or whatever the post falls under. You can also use tags, which are like keywords that people could search on. So this is where you would add your keyword and another keyword. They can be more than one word, so like so. And so you would add all of your tags. We definitely recommend that you set a featured image, because this is often used in the front end of your website. So for example, if I go ahead and visit the site that we're working on now, and I'm going to go to the blog page when it loads, I'll just show you what we mean by that. Okay, so you'll see on the blog page on this website, for example, we've got a featured image, that's your title, and then it shows an excerpt of the content. And oftentimes that will be the case on your website as well. So definitely set a featured image. When you click on Set Featured Image, again, it's going to bring up your media library. You can choose whatever relevant image you've got there, or if you want to upload a new one, you would click on Upload Files and then go ahead and browse for that file on your machine and upload it. So in this case, I'm just going to select a Set Featured Image and go ahead. Okay, so once you've written your blog post, two things we recommend you do, and we normally have this installed on all of our websites, but if for whatever reason you don't see one of these, please give us just get in touch with us and we'll install it for you. One of them is a rich snippets functionality. What this does is it tells Google or the search engines what this post is about. So if, for example, this is an article, you would choose article, and then you would complete this form so that it more accurately displays on Google. If you had a food site and it was a recipe, for example, you would choose recipe and then fill in the relevant fields for a recipe, and so on and so forth. So you're normally going to be using it's a service or an article or a recipe or a product, or perhaps it's an event, an upcoming event if you've got an eventing site. But it should be fairly obvious to you which kind of form to choose. And then you would just need to fill out those details. Some of it will be duplicated from elsewhere in your post, but really this is just to help Google really understand what your particular post is about. The other thing you can do is set a keyword, and again we normally have this plugin installed on your site which allows you to do this. So you would type in your keyword here that Google would that you would expect people to be Googling for. So let's say, for example, it's the subject of your blog post is the keyword that you're going to enter. What happens is there's an analysis that's done, and it'll actually give you some tips here as to how to better search engine optimize your post to make it even more effective. So obviously at the moment we've got no content or anything in this post, so we've got a lot of reds and oranges here. But if you follow the instructions here, you will get some good advice on how to better search engine optimize your site. One of the things definitely that I would recommend is editing your snippets. So this is what normally appears in your content. So by default, it'll take the first few lines of what you've written in your blog post, but that's not always the best content that needs to appear on Google. So if you wanted to, you could enter your own description here of what you want to appear when people search on Google. Whatever you enter, it's a very good idea to use the keyword that you're using. So whatever keyword you've got here, you should use that in your description as well. So the subject of your blog post should be featured when you enter your own description. And you can see that already that is orange, and it's orange because it's too short. And if we keep typing here, we're eventually going to reach something that's a little bit longer. As you can see, it's now turned green. So all along the way, it's going to give you sort of instructions as to how best search engine optimize your page. So for example, you'll see now we've got 3 green lights at the bottom. One of the things it says is that your subject of your blog post doesn't appear in the URL of this page. Generally, that'll be created for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Sometimes it'll tell you your page title is too short. If you think that that is a very effective page title and that's what people are going to search on, you can leave it at that. These are just suggestions to make your SEO more effective on Google. They are not cast in stone, they're just as a guide. So that's how you would set your SEO for your post. So those 2 little boxes, if you don't see them for any reason, scroll to the top of your screen. You'll see there's this little button that says Screen Options, and you will see them here, Configure Rich Snippet and Yoast SEO. Make sure that those are checked. Something else worth checking is the excerpt. I'm going to go ahead and check that for you now. Okay, so the excerpt you'll see appears under here. Sometimes, depending on your website, we will be using the excerpt. So for example, over here, you can specify a specific excerpt for the post if you don't want it to just show the beginning of your content. By default, it'll show the beginning of the content, but if you want some specific excerpt, you can use it here, and that will overwrite that. So that's if you want a specific excerpt to appear for the site. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this post now, just as is, and then we're going to refresh the blog page so that you can see exactly what it looks like. Okay, so that is now published. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the blog page. And there you go, you'll see the new post is there. Subject of your blog post, there's the excerpt. So we said some specific excerpt, that's your featured image. And if you click through to the blog post itself, you're going to see that content we added. So here's the content was the heading we added and the image. We chose web design as the category, and we added these tags as keywords. So very quick and easy example of how to add a normal blog to your blog post. If you go back to your posts list by clicking on posts or clicking on all posts, both of them do the same thing, you will see there is your post over there. You'll see at the moment it's got a red light, which is an indicator for your SEO, and a red light for readability. Don't take the readability too seriously. These plugins are designed to be, they want you to write as easily as possible, and sometimes it means you need to write as if you're writing for a child. At the moment that is red because we obviously don't have any content actually in there. If they consistently read, you might want to get a copywriter to look at your copy and just make sure that you can read it nicely. But it's really just an indicator, as we've said. Right, if you want to edit an existing post, when you mouse over, you see you have a couple of options here. One of them is edit. You're going to go ahead and click edit to edit that existing post, and it'll take you back to that screen where you can make any changes you want, removing tags, adding new categories, changing featured images, etc. And then once you're done, you would click update. And if you wanted to delete your post, you would go to posts again. And when you mouse over your post, you'll see there's a trash option over there. I'm not going to click that now because there's one more thing I want to show you. In some cases on your site, you may be using the page builder, which we're going to be doing some more training on a little bit later, to edit your posts. If that is the case and your page builder is active, when you go in to edit your post, it'll actually show you that. So I'm going to just change this to a post that is using the page editor for you. So if I go through and I now click on page builder, it's going to convert this post into a post that is using our page builder that we use. So this post is now active in your page builder. I'm not going to show you anything over here just yet because we're going to do more training on that later, but I'm just going to go ahead and publish it so that the page builder is now active on this post, and then we're going to go back to your dashboard. Okay, so if ever in your dashboard you go into any of the posts we created for you or that you've created for yourself, if they were done with the page builder, when you click on edit over here, you will come through to your post and you will see that the page builder is currently active for this post, and you will have a button to launch the page builder to edit it, and you will then edit it in your page builder. So if that's the case, just click on launch page builder and go ahead and do that. So that is all about blog posts on the back end of your website. Our next section will teach you more about your dashboard.